Alright, welcome back. I'm going to do a little video on some of my experiences with cigars from Cuba, and thought I might have some helpful information if you're considering going to Cuba, and especially if you're an American. I highly encourage it. There's a lot of misinformation out there about why you can't go, and while that is true that you can't go as a tourist, you can certainly go the way I went, which was simply indicating its support for the Cuban people. Very easy to do. When you book your flight, it'll give you an option to choose one of, I think, 12 categories, and that's one of them. And all that really means is that you're going over there to support the Cuban people and capitalistic ventures. And so if you go and you do it that way, and you stay at an Airbnb, as long as you don't stay at a hotel that's run by the government, owned by the military, then I think you're fine. I've done it a couple times, stayed in an Airbnb, private residence, great places to stay, cheap, amazing breakfast, amazing hospitality, wonderful people. I put that down on my visa, and when I book the flight, and I fly out of Lauderdale usually and straight to Havana, and have not had a problem at all. Go over there, enjoy the people, enjoy the cigars. And so I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the some of the Cuban cigars I got, and some tips about where to get them, and what to do and what not to do. So one of the things, and I'm going to smoke this while I'm talking. So this is like a gift pack that you might get in a cigar shop in Cuba. And so you can kind of see it's a cedar box, and it's got the Cuban flag on it, and kind of cool. And so I'll open that up here, and there were 5. I've smoked 3. And today I'm going to smoke probably the Cadillac of the bunch, the Cohiba, in here. And so I'm going to try to focus that. Sorry, I'm not great with this camera and focusing, but there you can see the Cohiba, beautiful big torpedo. It's a little cracked there, but the band, and just a really big torpedo. And the other 2 in here are there's a Monte Cristo yet that I haven't smoked, and then all these are torpedoes. And then there's a Robena. So I think I smoked an Oil de Monterey and an Upman. I think those were the other 2. So I'm going to review this Cohiba here too while we go through and talk about Cuban cigars. So nice oily wrapper, again cracked, and that's common. They're not cracked over there. The humidity is perfect over there in Havana and all through Cuba, it seems. But when you come back, and you come back through the cold weather of the United States, you know, it's December here in Canton, Ohio, and it's about 20 some degrees. And even though I immediately pack these in a humidity controlled environment, they still, as soon as you break them out, you know, they've probably not been resting long enough. It's been a little more than a month since I've been back, but it still takes them some time. One of the things I recommend is you get these Tupperware containers like this, and I just put them in an igloo cooler with some humidity beads, but then I also put my cigars in a very sealed tight Tupperware cooler, and I use these Boveda packs, and the Boveda packs are great. This one's 72. I like keeping mine a little more humidified. You know, you can get 69%. I like the 72s. Maybe that's why it's cracking out. But anyway, let's light up this Cohiba, and I did get some nice box matches out of Cuba. These are actually very expensive comparatively to the cigars. So let's see how this very good, full flavored certainly. My experience is that Cohibas certainly are the most popular cigar for tourists in Cuba, and I think also the most expensive by far. I mean, they're almost double in price to say an Upman or Romeo and Julieta. So I'm actually not a big fan of buying a lot of Cohibas because they're so expensive over there, but comparatively speaking, they're cheaper than many premium cigars that you're going to get in the United States. So it's all relative speaking, but cigars for the most part are very inexpensive in Cuba. And so it's hard to justify spending all your money on Cohibas. But they're good. The draw on some of this is a little bit of a hard draw. It needs age. I mean, most Cubans, you need to age them a couple of years to really get them at their peak creaminess. But I don't have a lot of patience. You know, I age when I can, but I just love to smoke them. So they're really good anyway. They're better than anything else I've got. So I smoke them. Now, one way that you can address the aging issue is if you go to Cuba, only buy cigars at a La Casa del Habanos. And you can go on the web and look up Habanos SA for the Cuba, the official Cuban company, and you'll see the locations of La Casa del Habanos. You'll also see the locations in Europe and in Latin America. Of course, there's none in the United States because they're not allowed, but there's not actually that many in Cuba, maybe a dozen or so. I don't know, I forget how many, but those are the places to go. Those are the official cigar stores in Cuba, and you don't want to buy them off the street. You can buy at the airport. I think they're you're going to get legitimate ones there, but I would go to La Casa del Habanos. If you go to those, one of my favorites was a store that one of the Robena family is typically there, and it's in Miramar. And it's a beautiful store, and you can walk in the humidor and you can look at the cigars, the boxes, and you want to check the box dates. And so, for instance, this box of Cohiba cigars, I'll see if I can focus that in there. Cohiba is not a real well-known brand in Cuba. They make basically a funny shaped pyramid torpedo type of cigars, but you can see the box, and then it's got the barcode, and you can check that barcode against the Habanos SA website, and it should show up as exactly what you got. But on the bottom, you'll see a box date in there, and so that box date, it's hard to read, but it's December of 13. And so this box was aged almost 5 years. You can see the price. So the price there in Cuban pesos, 2,900, but in CUC, which is the equivalent to the American dollar, $116 a box. These are Tradiciones. So again, trying to focus in on there. Sorry. So you can see those, and so there's 25 of those. So those are, pretty good price, a little more than $4 a stick. However, they are small, and so this Cohiba was growing much better. Very good, very smoky. So anyway, the inside of the Cohiba box here. Now I mixed this because I put some punch in there, but anyway, these are very small. You can see they're kind of an odd shaped cigar. Hopefully that's focused in on there, but interesting cigar. This one I'm going to talk about in a moment. This is a punch limited edition 2017, and just a beautiful cigar, small one. But so you can go in these stores and get aged boxes. And so, like I said, this is a 5-year-old box. Most of the boxes you're going to go in, or that you go in, and some of the La Casa del Habanos, they will not let you kind of root through the humidor, so you don't really get that opportunity to pick out the box. You can ask them to tell you what the box code is. So here's a box of Ramon Allones, and these, again, smaller ones, small club Coronas. And this box, as you can see there, April of 17, so it was barely a year old. But price-wise, very good price, $91 for 25. So, you know, less than $4 a piece. But again, these are pretty small, but wow, they're really, really good. And again, so sorry about my video skills here. And I keep these in the humidor with some Boveda packs in them too. So another one I was lucky to find, limited edition. So these are very difficult to find. So this Punch limited edition 2017, fantastic cigar. In fact, one of my friends that went with me to Cuba, he didn't buy a box initially, and then he smoked one of mine, and he said, I think that's the best cigar I've ever smoked. And so we traveled around Havana to try to find some, and eventually we found some, but actually out by the beach. So that's December 17, and these are more expensive because they are limited edition. But this price I can't remember, so it's $9.90 a stick, and that may be right, that $247 for 25 of them. So but still, at $10 a stick, these are just fantastic cigars. Another way, so at the airport, I picked up a box of these 5-packs. So this is Monte Cristo and a 5-pack, and hopefully we can get you in there. But the trick with these is you don't really know the date, and so these, each of these 5-packs I think was $36. So a pretty good price. But then inside you'll see they have the date, and so again, if that, so November of 17, but you don't really get to see that till you open it. And then inside there were 5-packs of these Monte Cristo number 3s, and so I'm trying to focus there. So anyway, pretty good, but again, need aged, but fantastic cigars. Now, I would recommend that you do buy by the box when you go to Cuba. Because you say, well, why? Am I going to get a fake? Well, you're not going to get a fake Dominican. You might get a fake Cuba. It'll be a Cuban cigar, but it may not be the actual cigar that is quality tested through the factory and all that. We actually found that to be true even in the La Casa del Habanos, that they will make, you know, they're trying to supplement their income, and so sometimes they'll get some other cigars and they'll put in. So, but if you buy an unopened box, you're pretty certain, again, at a factory cigar store. Hi, Lucy. So this Cohiba is really good, really smoking great. Medium is strong. You know, the great thing about, want to say hi? I'm just not trying to. So, the great thing about these is that they're I hardly ever get a spicy Cuban, and I'm not big into spice, but strong, but smooth, strong. Lucy, don't bite my hand off. Puppy Rottweiler problem. So, in any event, very good. Obviously, I'm not going to keep the video on long enough to give you a whole review on this. I could come back, but I'm not that technologically sound. I talked in my other video, a great way to bring these back is to get these tins You can get those in the La Casa de Habanos too. Pack your cigars in there if you buy singles, and so. But I recommend that you buy the boxes. They're fantastic. I highly recommend going to Cuba, experiencing the sort of the mecca of the cigar world, and you know, you can fly there cheap. The Airbnbs are cheap. The food is cheap, and the cigars, compared to, quite frankly, what you're going to find in American cigar stores, are very reasonably priced, and in my opinion, the best in the world. So, until next time, buenos dias.